Later? Okay, I'll write
Not
it down.
now, just because you want to have it this because as you can see, this
What's
shows
that?
very nicely the phases of how he proceeded, right? Again, value the paper, right? So darker than the paper, same value as the paper, leave it alone. Lighter than the paper, push chalk in it. Three values, three values, right? And then he smooth. So looking how when we look at the pattern, we want to check, for example, how much space do I have between the ear, the back of the ear, and the back of the head. See that? So we just look at the space now as we get more and more in detail. Look at this pattern here, right? That, right? I want to replicate that pattern. So when blocking the hair, see, it's I don't want to, we
Are you
don't.
using a pen?
So this is an eraser. This is an eraser. See that? And then eraser when I want to. So because the pattern of the space above the lip here, that it was not wide enough in my drawing, so I erased some of the black for the upper lip to make this space bigger. But it's an eraser. So this portion in here also a little bit darker. When you use a stamp, the blending stamp, don't do this, right? Don't do that because you can do it in big areas, but if you do that, you end up with this swirly pattern that is not good for even a shadow mask, right? Area of value. You don't control the area of value anymore. So be careful with that, right? So now this is all dark here. See this change of angle here at the pecs right here. And then I want to smooth it, right? This part in here now is a little bit darker right here. Remember how we divided this in area of value, right? So we have light, medium, and dark. So this is light, medium, dark. Now the question here, now we start working with three values, right? The question here is where is the value of the paper here, right? Where do I leave it alone? So I would say that that value there is darker, right? So I need to then the paper. So I need to put a little bit of value here, right? A little bit of value, maybe not here. I'm gonna wait to put it here because I might achieve this value here by lightening this and lightening that, right? But this definitely need a value here, right? And a value here. All the side of the bicep here is darker, so I can block in a value down like that. And here, see that here and here. See these areas, that how clearly defined they are, right? So if we don't get lost in the smaller tonal details, but look only at the big areas of value that delimit the plane, it's gonna be much easier. See that in the sense that what I have here, this is a plane that moves out like this. This is a plane that moves down like this and in like that. This is a plane that moves toward me. So I have one, the top here, two here, three. Right? Makes sense? So that helps you in not getting lost in all this little bump too soon. If I look at the big plane, this big triangle here, right? Big triangle here, that's what I want to block first. And then this top in here, and then this side. Same thing for the bicep. I see now this is the plane of the bicep here facing me like this. And this is the side here. And then past that, below that, this plane from here goes in like this. So I have 1, 2, 3. And of course, CLCU has 4, right? This V, see this V here? Is because now the plane from this direction goes in like that, right? So now we're blocking this value here with a stump. We smooth it. We smooth this.
It's great.
And this is going to be a little bit darker, right? So now the margin here is a little bit darker, but I need to lift this value here. It's a bit too wide, right? So as we go down this way, you see how here we have the core shadow. That's a core shadow, right? Because that's the rib cage. From here, the rib cage turns. So that's the core shadow here, and that's the reflected light. So I have the core shadow. Let me see here and here, right? And now we can use a stump to blend this area here. To smooth it actually, to smooth it, and as you can see, the smoothing this area here takes away the texture created by the charcoal. Again, the charcoal, when it's softer, has more grain or more texture, right? And it also takes away, or at least attenuate, the pattern of the paper, because this paper has a little bit of a pattern, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, I got sidetracked. I gotta go back to the white here, right? See, there is a slightly darker area, here, right? Slightly. So let's draw around it with the white to see if we can make it lighter indirectly. See, we start now, we go with the stump, right? Blending stump. Carefully, right? So as I darken the background, we start seeing the arm coming up. This is a very important thing to understand, right? No line at this point, area of values, one area of value will define and the adjacent area of value. paper is smoother than the stump, and it's better to soften up the background. So now this shoulder here is defined again by the white area, the white of the chalk that I put down, and not by the line here, right? Dark value. Thing in here, we have now 1, 2, 3. So that is the dark value, that the value darker than the paper, that's the value of the paper, and that's the lightest value. So here, I'm gonna take off some of this charcoal. So let's say it's here, right? Right? Makes sense? So, of course, he pushes it, right? Because see how he pushes it here. That is really dark. So we can do that too. We can push this, right? All this pattern here. Look how beautiful that pattern there, right? Now we're looking at this abstract pattern, right? Or the pattern as an abstract. As an abstraction, right? So we need to push this. Right? It's probably so lighter than the paper. As we get down here, see there's a value here that might be that I need to take out. See this area here, you see the arrow, right? See this area here? There I had to decide if that is the value of the paper, or I should add a little bit of charcoal to that. So we're gonna start lightening this up a little bit, making it lighter here. And leave that alone, right, for now. Yeah, no, I need to lift it. I need to lift the white here. Right, and then now blend this a little bit more, right? This area here now is I'm gonna leave it as the value of the paper here. This here a little bit lighter. Turning like this, and then so I want to obtain that area. Make that area darker by making this lighter, but we'll see. I might have to add some charcoals here, right? So here we have, see that 1, 2, 3, 4 value, right? Look, this is the darkest value. That's an intermediate value, and that is a lighter value, and that's the lightest. So remember, light, medium dark, dark. Good, right? Because that even with just 4 values, because this is 4 values here, 4 values, right? So let's see even the arrow here. See that dark here, medium dark here, right? Medium light and light. That's it. So now we can soften up this. So this part in here now, same thing, right? Light 1, see that? 2, 3, 4. That's a reflected light, right? That's the core shadow. that is the intermediate value between the highest highlight and the intermediate value. So we're going to block in a value here. See what I'm saying? So don't, when you do this kind of analysis, don't go for the sharp little bumps right away. You got to create the sense of the volume. That's why it's useful to understand the stereometry, because if you look at the leg as a cylinder, right? So let's see, you're blocking the leg like this right here. The thigh like this, right? Then you're thinking, okay, that area, the light comes from here, right? The light comes from here. So this area here will have the highest highlight. But I don't want to go with the highest highlight too close to the margin in there, because that, so this is the plane, right? This is another plane. That already start moving that way. So the light is not hitting this form directly. It's going to be slightly tangent. Here, now I have the value of the paper, because similar to this also moves down like this, right? So it's not going to get the light directly, but tangent, almost at an angle, right? Now here I have this form turning again. So it's gonna be the darkest, what gonna be the stamp to blend these areas in here, right? The blending stamp then accumulates charcoal in here, and then from blending become a drawing tool. It makes marks. So it might be helpful if periodically you just rub, take off as much charcoal as you can on a piece of paper. That way you have you blend the color that you put there, not adding extra color that you might not want to add, right? So guys, any question about this?
This was wonderful.
Atmos for you. You can copy. And I would start with the perspective. You need 5 minutes.
Just took a break. I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
Yeah.
So let me get the piece of paper, and then
Do you need any special drawing?
I'm sorry, Amy.
What do we need for the perspective?
Or just a piece, just sketch.